Home, a place where children are supposed to be happy and well cared for. A place they're supposed to feel safe and have a happy childhood, where they're able to spend time with their parents and play with friends and siblings, play sports, and enjoy life. But for some, home, instead of being that happy place that children long to go back to after a long day at school, becomes a nightmare. A place where they feel alone, abandoned, useless, and in danger to the hands of child abuse and neglect.
Child abuse, it could be pretty much anything in the book. Child abuse can be from starving the child, um, hitting. So spanking, a little tap, that's okay. But when it comes to excessive spanking will be if you were bleeding, if you got hit with a rock in your face, type of thing. So you can know when a child is being abused either by bruises in the arm, lacerations in the face, maybe like a black eye, and your knees as well. And then just by how children react. A former the way you discipline a child, it can vary, but is knowing your limits of what is excessive. So, like I said, spanking, that's okay. Um, but if it's more excessive of going repeatedly, doing it multiple times at the same time, making that child bleed, then that's abuse. But if you're just spanking the child, just a spank in the butt or in the hand, that is okay. I always tell my students, and then when I talk in general, and advocate at high schools and middle schools, and even when I used to be a social worker at elementary, it's very important to always listen to the child. In school, you never know what kids are going through. You never know what your classmate is going through. So it's just very important not to judge them, um, especially if they look kind of funny, they dress weird, or they wearing the same clothes every single day. Um, and you realize, hey, like, you're wearing the clothes every single day. Let me point that out to a teacher. Let me point that out to a counselor. Um, and just inform adults, especially, because again, you guys are kids, and it's very important for an adult to merge into that suspicion that you guys have.
Up until the early 1900s, violence against women was almost normal. Around the 1970s, laws were starting to form against the violence of women. These are quite recent laws, leaving plenty of room for improvement. It is important to know and understand the statistics and facts of what sexual violence is and how it affects women in current society. 1 in 10 high school students have experienced physical violence from a dating partner. 1 in 5 women have been raped. Domestic violence can affect all women across the world. The reason we need more awareness is the laws are obviously not effective because some women haven't gotten the justice served for their sexual violence committed against them.
One of the greatest catastrophic religious conflicts in the history of the world were the Crusades, with an estimated total of 2 million people dead. In all, there were a total of 9 crusades. Now, what makes these conflicts religious? Well, officially, the Roman Catholic Church declared it a holy war. Pope Urban II called for an armed pilgrimage to Jerusalem. Now, how did the Church hold enough power over the government to start a war? church and state should be kept on separate levels. There are too many times that government leaders use religion as an excuse to start a war. Pope Urban II did just that, and his plan was to seize more power. Many years later, in a more modern era, a new conflict arises in which the loss of life will happen again. This time, the conflict is initiated by power-hungry fanatics who are using religion and their people's want for a better life to seize more and more power. Just like the Crusades, the conflict started when religion was used and abused by power-hungry men who took advantage of their people's blind belief in their cause. The conflict I am talking about is the War on Terror, more specifically ISIS. What makes this a religious conflict is that the insurgents believe that anyone who does not believe in their religion must die. So it makes this somewhat of a spiritual genocide. Now, both of the conflicts I have talked about today could have been avoided, or at least toned down, if religion had not been at the center of the executive government. There is no need to go to war over different spiritual beliefs, and there is no excuse to use religion as a means to gain power.